Yes everyone, thanks for tuning in to another video. As I always say, it's a pleasure. If you're getting any value from the video, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you've got any thoughts, comments or ideas, please leave in the comment section down below for the algorithm. Now in today's video, I wanted to talk about why I opted and decided to take medication for my psoriatic arthritis. And the reason I wanted to make this video is because maybe you're sitting there wondering what someone's experience is, and maybe you're sitting there wondering if you really need medication. The thing about psoriatic arthritis is, from what I seem to be able to gather, is there's quite a wide spectrum on how extreme or severe people's symptoms are. So for me, I had loads of pain in the soles of my feet, plantar fasciitis in both soles of my feet. Lots of my fingers were swollen. You can still see the 1, 2 and 3, even after being on humira / adalimumab and having all of these fingers injected. They're still quite swollen. These two were really swollen as well, but they've gone to normal. This middle finger's a tiny bit swollen. I don't know if you can see. I'm not swearing at you. And as well as those, just overall joint stiffness, which until now, the humira adalimumab seems to be taking effect. I don't think I realized how bad it was. Basically, just always feeling like I've smashed a really hard workout the previous day, that sort of aching. So not really pain, but just the inability to move freely and smoothly. Like everything was a little bit difficult. The way that I like to describe it to people is, imagine you haven't gone to the gym for 6 months. Then on Monday you go to the gym, and then you go and play football in the afternoon. You wake up in the morning and then you get beaten up by a load of people on the Tuesday. And then on the Wednesday, that's how I used to feel all the time. So I tried lots of different avenues in regards to healing. I changed my diet. I went to Thailand for some alternative healing. Acupuncture, if I'm really totally honest, I probably could have thrown more at it. But deep down, after I went to Thailand for some alternative healing, which I was really hoping was going to make a difference, which it did something, but it's difficult for me to say. It alleviated some symptoms, but nothing physical. And my fingers were my biggest concern, because obviously not being able to make a fist with your hands and not being able to move your fingers is a little bit of a problem. Pain, for me, I can just push through to some extent. So I decided to opt for medication, because it was getting to the point where my life was becoming unmanageable. Now, I've watched lots of other people's content who basically just say that they deal with some joint and muscle stiffness. My dad's cousin has psoriatic arthritis, but again, it's more just muscle stiffness, but mine was pretty bad. I would say probably somewhere in the middle of the spectrum. The joint swelling was problematic, and so was the pain in my feet. So I couldn't run, I couldn't lift weights. Before taking methotrexate, which is about 9 months ago, I was in a really bad way. It really was bad. I was having to cancel work, and I just sat there and thought, this can't go on. And the thing on top of that was that from when this was the first finger that swelled up, from when this finger swelled up in July 22 to April 23, my condition got way worse. And the thing is apparently psoriatic arthritis is a condition that progresses. So I felt that if I didn't take medication, that I was going to end up just absolutely destroyed. In a wheelchair. Maybe that sounds a little bit melodramatic, but I was genuinely a little bit worried and thought, what am I going to do? I'm a personal trainer and yoga instructor. Being physically strong is part of my job, and I think it's important for anyone. I pride myself on being someone who's ready for action. What does that mean? When there's a situation where you need someone who's strong and brave, you look to me for help in that situation. And being feeble and weak and not being able to do standard physical things was very upsetting. I identify with being a strong man. That's what I identify as. And to then be a weak man who can barely walk properly, who appears to be a 90-year-old in a 31-year-old's body at the time was very upsetting to me. And that's why I decided to opt for medication. Because the pain was becoming unmanageable, my life was becoming unmanageable, and I was worried about how rapid my condition seemed to be progressing. And I have to say, after being on humira for almost 2 months now, it's been a very positive experience. Of course, no one wants to take medication because you're worried of the side effects. But one has to take a view. You know, if you've just got a bit of joint stiffness and you're in a little bit of pain, maybe you don't want to take the medication. But there were certain days that I woke up and I couldn't move any of my fingers. I remember one day I woke up and I had to do this with my chin to get the movement through my fingers because literally none of them could move. And if you're experiencing some symptoms like that, then maybe you really do need to consider the medication route. I've spoken to some people who know other people who have rheumatoid arthritis, which is very similar, who don't want to take medication, and their disease just gets progressively worse and worse. And I guess that's what would happen if I didn't take medication for my psoriatic arthritis. It's been a very positive experience for me. I'm happy with my decision as it stands, and I wanted to be able to live my life. And I guess for me, it was worth taking the risk. The pros outweighed the cons. And I truly believe that if I didn't take the medication, within the next year or two, I would just be in really, really, really big trouble. And also, I wanted to do the things that I love. I wanted to train. I want to be able to walk around and not be in pain. And also just be able to do the small things. Anyway, I hope you got some value from that video. And wherever you are, I hope you have a cracking rest of the day. And until next time, peace.